You're listening to the Ecosystem Approach show. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio.
We discovered that human potential is severely limited when you program humans like a machine, which is standard practice today for self-improvement.
The Ecosystem Approach teaches you how to uncover your infinite potential by using natural methods that are truly revolutionary. Join us now for the Ecosystem Approach show. What is negative, dark, or evil energy? How does it fit in the big picture? What is going on in a cosmic sense that makes sense of this dark energy? What is the motive for this energy? Did the ancient masters see this energy? This may be one of the most important shows we've done in a long time. We are married intuitives with over 20 years experience who created the Ecosystem Approach for you. This is much different because we see human beings as ecosystems that need to be restored instead of programmed. We show you how to take an energy approach for internal discovery that is rational, practical, and useful for everyday life. Jason, is there a definition for negative energy?
Yes.
Okay.
But what I want to build on the fact that this is one of our most important shows.
Okay.
And I think this distinguishes us from all the other people that are helping others with energy and to do to go deep and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Because on one hand, the ecosystem approach is so simple. On the other hand, because we can see energy,
Yes.
we know about this dark, evil, negative energy. And the question is, did the ancient masters see this? No. I mean, I've been talking to people, and I'm not an expert about the ancient beliefs and systems.
Okay.
And I truly admit that, but they don't see dark energy the way I see it, and that's because I'm seeing it in in this century, 2023.
Okay.
And we're seeing it. And we're seeing it as the way things really are, as opposed to the way we'd like them to be.
Yes.
So stay tuned. We're gonna go in this. So let's start with the definition of negative energy.
Okay. So you want me to ask that question again?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you the definition of negative energy.
Okay.
And it's negative energy is any energy that blocks evolution.
Okay.
Now we think in terms of negative energy in a very black and white way.
Right.
Fear's got to be negative energy. Well, if there's a rattlesnake coiled up in front of you and you're walking down a path, fear is not a negative energy. It's going to help you.
Exactly. Or it's either going to make you stand completely still and freeze.
However you act.
Yes.
The
exactly.
fear itself is a
it's a signal to
heighten
you.
your body to be aware. So
okay.
We think that love's got to be positive energy, right? But we had a show about love and how it could be possessive, how it can really harm someone.
Yes.
The way that a parent loves a child, for example, or anybody else.
And I want you. We'll go back to it, but I want you to explain what you're talking about there. It's really important.
Well,
meaning in possession.
Possession blocks your evolution.
Yes.
And that's the basic definition.
Okay.
Any energy that blocks your evolution, and a lot of that is context-based. It's not based on a black and white say, well, this is good, this is evil, this is good, this is evil. It doesn't work that way.
Okay.
It has to do with the context and about your personal soul, we call it essence.
Yes.
And what it needs to go to move forward or to grow or to evolve.
Okay.
So it's that simple.
Okay.
So what is the motive for negative energy or dark energy?
Okay. Well, and in fact, I've actually had clients say, well, I don't understand when you're talking about this negative or evil energy, dark energy. What does it mean? I don't know anything about it.
Yes. And we want to think of it as just something that's there.
Yes.
But it has a consciousness. It has the ability to to think. That's to be conscious, and to it wants to sustain itself. It doesn't want
It
to
wants
leave.
a way to
Yes.
sustain itself, and it wants to take over. That would be a way I would say it.
So let's go to the big picture,
Okay.
because that's what everybody wants. Okay.
Okay, all right.
And I used we came up with a metaphor. I think this metaphor is really appropriate for
Okay.
this topic.
Okay.
We have this history of slavery in this country,
Yes.
and where it's been said that a lot of the strength of the U.S. economy and the wealth here in the United States comes from the fact that our foundation was based on slave labor.
Yes.
Now, you could say, if you're a history buff, you might say, well, this was also during the Industrial Revolution in the North.
Yes.
And those people were paid. They weren't slaves, quote unquote, but that labor was exploited in a way that,
Well, exactly.
and so the people who got the greatest benefit weren't doing the greatest amount of work. It was the people, and
Actually doing the work.
yes, and you can talk about that in terms of politics and things like that, and I get that, but let me keep going. So I'll
Okay.
make the point here.
Okay.
This wealth came about in the United States as a result of the labor, whether it was in a factory or in a
In a
cotton
field, yes.
yes, in an agriculture sense, and it greatly benefited a few at the expense of the many,
Okay.
and that is exactly how we see dark energy.
Yes.
That
Well done.
when we look at the earth in relationship to the universe, it's very clear to us that the earth has riches,
Yes.
that there's a collection or a faction that wants to take those riches and use them for the benefit of a few at the expense of the many.
Correct. Therefore, slavery still exists.
Well, I would say it's an enslavement.
Okay.
You can be in a democracy, but be enslaved. And if you've been listening to the show for a while, that's programming. If you're programmed, you're not truly free. You don't really have free will.
Correct.
Because the way you act is based on the way you were programmed to act,
Yes.
or what I call compulsions. We'll talk about that in just a minute.
Okay.
But so that's one side. The
Okay.
other side sees that Earth has human life on the planet, has a natural ecosystem
Yes.
that if everybody worked collectively, use the collective,
Yes.
and work together in harmony, the benefit to not only mankind on Earth, but for the rest of the universe would be huge.
Right.
That level of riches would be greater than anything else that we know today, not only on Earth, but in the whole universe.
Correct.
And I know that a lot of this stuff, I don't know. When we look at energy, we see this. This narrative is pretty clear to us.
Yes.
All the specifics, I admit that I don't know. There's a part of me that's not interested, because when we created the ecosystem approach, our intention always is to help you personally have a better life where you are right now. Not that you have to sell all your worldly belongings, go live on a mountaintop.
Correct.
You don't have to go find an island to live on. We
Okay.
want you to live in the world the way it is now,
Right.
in a better way, in a more evolved way.
Correct.
And so if you think in terms of this, there's this energy that has a intention
Correct.
to enslave humans on Earth for their benefit, for the benefit of a few,
Correct.
at the expense of us. And there's this other side that says, "Oh, we want to." And this is very Age of Aquarius also, if
Okay.
you've been listening.
Yes.
But we want to have more democratic view of humankind, and that we all work together,
Right.
and the collective consciousness will be even greater than what could happen by programmed or enslaved people working directed by a few.
Okay. Okay.
So that's dark, and there's a benefit to these few if they can continue to enslave the planet. And frankly, they've been very successful.
Yes, they have.
Because we've been talking about programming ad nauseum, and
Yes.
that's why it's so awful, is because it takes away your free will.
Yes.
Instead of having you act from your essence without any encumbrance,
Yes, encumbrance.
you act from programming and compulsions and beliefs that may not be truly your own.
Yes. Well, and I would say that is definitely the truth on that one.
And we have more to talk about, but and let's just take a few because we have like 30 seconds left. Okay, there's a lot of ways that your essence has been co-opted.
Okay, well said.
We think that if we talk about UFOs and that the government has finally admitted that there's phenomena that they see,
Yeah.
but they can't explain,
Right.
and it doesn't seem like it's from anybody that has technology in this world right now.
Correct.
It's very clear to us when we put our head in the non-physical dimension that collectively as a human race, those entities from other places in the universe aren't going to just show themselves and walk around as little green men. They'd be crazy. Look what happened to the War of the World.
Yeah,
people
that was
went berserk.
Yes, they
we're
did.
not evolved enough.
That's
we can't
correct.
handle it.
Yes.
But the way they come in is by connecting with our energy, which is our essence.
Yes.
Now, people have co-opted that energy for years. For example, abused spouses,
Yes.
Kids in a family who have been enslaved by a government or a culture, by a church, a cult, or an organization.
Correct.
So we'll keep talking about that in the next segment.
All right. So, well, in the next segment, we're going to continue to talk about the dark energy and the specifics that have or will affect you and your life going forward. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show, unscripted with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and I'm Patricia. In this segment, we're going to continue to talk about dark energy and the specifics that have or will affect you and your life going forward. Where were we, Jason?
So we were talking about star seeds.
We
We were explaining star seeds, which is basically think of the light, what we call the light. We make it black and white, the light and the dark.
Okay.
The light is like NATO, where it's a consortium of other entities in the universe
Okay.
that are coming to help Earth evolve.
Okay. I
You
like
know,
that.
You've ever heard of the term Pleiadians, Sirians, Alpha Centaurians? Those are starseed places, and they don't possess your essence, but they're part of your essence. Starseeds naturally have some innate abilities that a lot of people don't have.
Yes.
They have a heightened level of intuition.
Yes, they
They
do.
have a heightened level of consciousness already. But if we think of starseeds, and then you've probably heard, and I'm going to bring this up. I don't like to do it, but I'm going to bring it up. Is the reptiles, the reptilians, the draconans, the Drax. There's even some books that I've read about it.
Okay.
And when I read the book, it didn't. It was close. It was not close. It wasn't even close. It had some information that was kind of accurate,
Okay.
but it was filtered through a lack of consciousness on the author's part
Oh,
that I see as wasn't true.
Okay.
You know, so you have the dark, the reptiles on one hand, and we think. I remember we had a client one time. I don't know if you remember this. She wanted to
Oh, I
expel
remember. I know what you.
all these draconans and dark energies from her life.
Right.
Of course, it was clear to us that her dad had been influenced this way.
Mm-hmm.
So you may be a starseed, but you could be playing for the dark because of programming. You could be a draconan and seeing that this is not what you want, and you want what the light has.
Correct.
So if you think in terms of black and white or these star seeds, and there's no actual authentic test you can do to say, oh, I'm going to pinch you, you're a star seed.
Right. Right.
You can see it with
and if
intuition.
I go, ow, that means I am. Oops.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
And that's kind of our philosophy anyways.
Yes.
What we want to do with the ecosystem approach is develop your refined intuition, evolved consciousness on your own.
Because when you have this, explain that reason. When you have that refined intuition and evolved consciousness, then you can you can see for yourself.
Yes.
You can feel. You can innately know.
You can know this for yourself as opposed to going to someone like us and saying, well, what am I? What's my, am I really a starseed? That sort of thing.
Right.
And the problem is that, and we're going to get to this in just a minute.
Okay.
It's hard to trust anybody.
Yeah.
And the reason it is that we all are a combination of dark and light energy.
Well, yes, we are. But when you have refined intuition and you have evolved consciousness, then you can see within yourself about yourself, and correct me if I say this wrong. You can see what's right as opposed to who's right,
or see it from a conscious perspective.
There you go.
That can help you overcome it.
Yes.
Because we've talked about, and if you've been listening for a while, you've probably heard this, but about the 80%.
Yes. Oh,
And
yeah, it's a big deal.
Where those who have achieved greatness,
Yes.
still have all this negative energy in their essence, 80%.
And so with programming, it basically says, oh, that doesn't matter if you have the 80%.
Right.
But the truth is, yes, it does.
When what these people do is they reconfigure the other 20% to have achievement, accomplishment.
Exactly.
But it doesn't give you evolution.
And it doesn't give the earth evolution.
And if you've never before in history have I seen the leaders, the clarity about our leaders be so out there. All their failings, all their weaknesses.
Correct. Well, I would say that technology has definitely played a big part in
It's
that.
hard for anybody to hide, and no matter how good your publicist or your media machine,
It's true.
it comes out.
Yes.
And so, and I get that our leaders aren't good enough. And so if you understand that, and here's the other part, dark energy is always on both sides.
And that's a really important point for everyone to understand. And the reason is because in this subject over here, that negative energy could be roaring in you.
Yes.
And then this subject over here, you see with great clarity.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's really important to understand that when you have evolved consciousness, there's something, and I don't know how else to describe this at the moment. There's something that will tap you on the shoulder and basically say, wait a minute, pay attention here. You have the awareness to do so.
Well, it goes back to your essence.
That's what
Your
I'm talking
essence
about.
is your most valuable asset.
Yes.
But with programming, it says don't worry about that,
Don't pay attention.
because it's when this collective comes together and starts to work together
Yes.
from the basis of their essence.
Yes.
Magic happens.
Yeah.
There's a
I love
there's a
that.
possibility on Earth that is so amazing.
Yes.
And it's so if you're saying, okay, yeah, but Jason, I've got to pay the rent this month, or I've got to pay the mortgage this
By the
month.
way, and that's understandable. I want you. We know that.
And that's always part of our focus.
That's
we
correct.
want you to be able to pay the rent or pay the mortgage.
Because when you don't pay the rent and don't pay the mortgage and you can't feed you and your kids or however, then the stress levels, they start to rise and the 80% takes over.
Yes. So go to our website, The Ecosystem Approach. We have a 2-part series. It starts with About Us, which is about the 80%.
Correct.
You know, and then it's goes into other information. And the part 2 is another information. Be sure you read that. That is amazing.
It is.
If you sign up for our free section, we're not going to sell your email address or any of that. We're not going to spam you. We just want you to start to understand this stuff.
Yes. Yes.
So
back to the 80%.
the 80%. All accomplishment today, because it's based on programming, creates pain and suffering.
Correct.
Life has too much pain and suffering, and that's the result of too much negative energy in the world. There's too much pain and suffering, and that's directly related
correct.
to negative energy. Our leaders and heroes have negative energy, so you can't trust any of those people without question or undying loyalty. And if you know, you see that in cults, you see that in our political process, you see that all over the place where, oh, this guy's my guy or this woman's my hero. They're all good, blah, blah, blah.
Well, let's back up to the you can't trust or follow without question or loyalty. Let's talk about loyalty for just a moment. I see that there's good and there's, I would say, the light and the dark in loyalty today, stronger than it ever has before, because I'm seeing people, and a lot of my clients are saying, wait a minute, this is the way, I have to do it this way because that's the way it was always done in my family.
Out of loyalty to the dark energy without any consciousness.
And you can't, and if you dare question, that makes you wrong. Well, one of the tricks that you could do is don't question out loud, but know when you're talking to someone about loyalty to your family, loyalty to a job, things like that. Understand that we all have the right within our essence to do what's right for us and the situation.
If you've ever had a favorite parent or best friend or a lover that's betrayed you,
yes,
that's the dichotomy that we're talking about. That none of us have pure 100% essence energy that doesn't have any negative energy there, and that negative energy can roar up at any time.
And that's because it started with programming, and that's how those, I'm going to say, portals got opened up to each and every one of us. And when we start to see, oh my gosh, I did this or I did that, or I see this or I see that. Oh, and that, and I know within that it's not right. That is the 80% that we're stuck in, which is negative energy. It's trying its best to take over.
So the Enneagram, and that's something that we use as a tool.
That's correct.
The Enneagram, I know, was given to us by the other side because human beings didn't have a good way to see negative energy.
Right.
We're too black and white. This is good energy. This is bad energy.
Correct.
You can never figure it out that way.
Right.
So you look at someone's Enneagram type. It's a collection of compulsions, and those compulsions come from dark energy.
Yes.
So your Enneagram type is an explanation of the dark energy that's attached to you. It's our way to help you start to remove that dark energy.
Yes.
So, for example, if you're a 1 and you always want to do a good job,
Yes.
people say, well, what's wrong with that? Well, if it comes from a compulsive place that's dark,
Right.
that wanting to do a good job will always get twisted at some point.
Correct.
2s that want to love everybody. Well, what's wrong with that?
Well, smothering is a first thing that comes to mind.
Possessiveness, smothering,
Correct.
yes, all those
Yes.
things.
Yes.
So just know that this is. I'm kind of excited about this because everything that you're trying to do that you can't seem to get to in your life is the result of negative energy.
Correct.
And the more you see that, the more clearly you see it, and the tools that you use using the ecosystem approach
Correct.
are going to help you overcome that.
So, well, and we're going to go to the next segment. So, with that said, in the next segment, we're going to continue the conversation about your relationship with dark energy and how you can deal with all the difficulty and personal stress and overwhelm of these energies. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show, unscripted, with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to continue the conversation about your relationship with dark energy and how you can deal with all of the difficulty and personal stress and overwhelm these energies cause. During the break, Jason and I were having a little bit of a discussion. So are you ready to start that
Yeah,
yet?
let's talk about this.
Okay. Yes.
So we're talking about dark energy and has a consciousness.
Yes, it does.
It's not smart or clever, but it targets you at your weakest point.
Yes.
And it's very persistent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's flexible.
Yes.
It can move from one area to another.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what makes it so hard to see. If you've ever done, for example,
Okay.
cancer.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
People, they say I'm cancer free, or they have cancer and they do the treatment, and all of a sudden they no longer have that cancer for that particular organ or that particular type of cancer.
That's correct.
And if you have that for 5 years, they say that you're
Cancer-free.
you're healed.
You're healed. That's right.
But if you have a problem someplace else, they say, oh, that's different.
Yes.
Dark energy says, yeah, I can work with that.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
I'll just move from this cancer to something over here.
And I'm just going to make one small comment. My mother had breast cancer, and in the end, she was almost cancer free, and then things started up again. And by the time she died, she had 5 different kinds of cancer.
Yeah.
So
That's a lot of negative energy.
a lot.
So we want to talk about this. Another good example, I guess the most important point that I want to make
Okay.
is we think of negative energy as like dust or a dirty window,
bugs on the windshield.
bugs on the windshield,
Sure.
a dirty window, whatever.
Right.
So you take some Windex out, you spray it, and you clean it off.
Correct.
It's a mechanical process. But getting rid of dark energy is not a mechanical process.
That's correct.
Dark energy has a consciousness, and it wants to stay.
Yes. Well, and by the way, stay and feed off of you.
Or continue its mission, which is to stop your evolution. Remember?
Same thing.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and we were making fun of my ex-wife, and I usually don't indulge in ex-wife humor, but it's actually a perfect example.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that she she had dark energy like all of us do,
Correct.
but our marriage was based on her trying to bully me over and over and over again. And so one of the things she started doing was asking for a divorce. I want a divorce. She wasn't asking like oh let's talk about having. She I want a divorce. I did something she didn't like. I want a divorce. I said something she didn't want to hear. I want a divorce. Blah blah blah. She was doing this for 6 months, 9 months. It was a long time, and it was frequent. Weekly. So I finally had enough, and basically we sat down to dinner, and I said, okay, it's time. You've been asking me for a divorce. Let's do it. It's time.
Okay.
This isn't working. It's not benefiting either one of us. And she whimpered, no. I said, hey, you've been asking me for a divorce almost weekly for as long as I can remember. She said, oh, I was just trying to get your attention. That is classic dark energy. That's how it works. On one hand, it'll push you here, and if that doesn't work, it'll push you here, and it'll find all of your vulnerabilities
Yes.
and push you there.
Yes.
And so people come to us all the time because the ecosystem approach is about removing this negative energy so that your soul can evolve.
Correct.
So it can heal and be better.
Yes.
And so, but one of the most common complaints we have
Yes.
is I've been removing this, I've been clearing this same emotion over and over again for forever.
Yes.
This is and nothing's happening.
Yes.
I'm just as bad as it was before, or now it's worse.
Now it's worse. Exactly.
And there's some truth to it. When you go into this bucket of negative energy or bad energy, dark energy in
that's
your
correct.
essence,
Yes.
the more you get away, the more it pushes back.
Yes.
The more it goes, no, don't get rid of me.
Yeah. Don't push me away. Don't leave me. Don't get rid of me. Yes.
And it will create illusions and delusions.
Yes.
And we've had so many people come to us and say, hey, this isn't working. This, I've been doing this for so long, nothing's really true. When objectively, and, with clients we have now, we've been with them long enough, we can say, wait a minute, that's not true. What about this, and this?
Well, and there is one other way, or another way to look at it. First off, when you change your perspective using the ecosystem approach, you can see that it's just another layer.
Yes.
And this other layer is when you really look at it, it's thinner than the first one, we'll put it that way, and it's trying its very, very best to hang on or have you hang on to it.
But it wails the loudest.
It does.
So
absolutely.
the more you go down in this path, the harder it is to get rid of, because it'll create illusions and delusions, and you'll be temporary insane for a few minutes.
Yes,
you
could be.
can say, "Oh my gosh, what's happening here?"
Yes,
All
yes.
these things.
Yes.
People get hopeless and they get overwhelmed. And dark energy loves to create illusions, delusions.
That's correct.
Or to say, if you get rid of me, something really bad's going to happen.
Exactly, because you can't live without me.
And if you see some similarities here, if you've ever, if you're aware of anybody that's been sexually abused, the abuser will always say, you can't ever tell. If you ever tell,
It's
the
the
worst
biggest
is
thing.
going to happen.
Yes.
And usually they tell it to a child, or who can't really distinguish, and the child internalizes that.
Yes,
And
holds on to it, and 98% of the time stays quiet.
that's all negative energy.
Absolutely.
It's completely negative energy.
Yes.
So one of the things I say to clients all the time, and this is so true, the dark always blames the light for what it does.
That's correct.
So as
That
you're
is
trying to get rid of
absolutely
this bad energy, they'll say, "Oh my gosh." You'll hear this voice in your head. Oh, it's the ecosystem approach.
Right.
You got to stop this.
Yes.
This isn't working for you. You got to try something else. Programming wasn't this hard, which is absolutely true.
Yeah, that is the truth, but it also that when people say, or think to themselves, I want to go back to the way it was, believe it or not, that's easy to do in its way, but you will always have a knowing in your essence. Once you've started using the ecosystem approach, you know that it's not correct.
We fully expect, and this has already happened to us, people will go away and then come back.
Many
Yes.
times.
Because at some point they'll say, "Oh my gosh, I was so much better." As we sit here right now, we can say to you, we started 20 years ago.
More than 20 years ago. That's correct.
I never want to go back to that feeling. Those feelings on the inside that were just I can see the negative energy that was
Right.
there. I never want to go back there.
Well, and the other thing is that dark energy, when you're having a bad day, when there's you're having effects from the moon, or you're having a full moon, things like that, or the planetary alignment, things like that. Oftentimes, that negative energy will use that opportunity. Will use the portals of that energy to roar up, but do it ever so sweetly. Would that be the right word?
It can be anywhere from sweet to harsh
To just plain bully.
to evil.
Yes.
If you've ever
Absolutely.
done something, say, "What was I thinking?"
Oh, wait a minute.
Dark energy, dark energy.
Yes, yes.
And so as we try and remove that 80%,
Yes.
we get a lot of pushback.
Yes, we do. But I guarantee you, even in the pushback, there's a knowing. There is a knowing that I'm not going to go back to the way things were.
Exactly.
That's so important.
The reason people want to go back to programming method is because programming doesn't get rid of negative energy.
No.
It says follow this formula and you're good.
Yeah.
And so there's no negative energy. Now, you might get pushback because of the negative energy that's attached to you.
Sure.
And you can't implement the programming.
Okay.
But it's so much easier.
Okay. Sure.
And programming doesn't give you the insight or the refined intuition, evolved consciousness
Correct.
to say, is this really working?
Yes.
What they do is they try and hypnotize you into say, this is working.
Yes, exactly.
Just how many self-help, how many self-help gurus have said, "Oh, just follow this formula and everything's going to be okay."
Exactly.
I'm saying it's not a formula. When it comes to you, it's time to go use your emotional story, which is the basis for that negative energy, that 80% that's attached to you, and start removing that.
And so with that said, we're kind of running out of time here. So, Jason, let's tell everyone how to do the clearing, meaning removing negative energy, and stick with us because this is a great thing for you to do.
And in the break, if you have a time, go to your computer. And if you haven't signed up for our free section, do that right now.
Right.
theecosystemapproach.org.
Yes.
And sign up for our free section. We ask for your email address. It's that simple.
Right.
And you have access to our weekly clearings, newsletter, and all those things.
And tell your friends about us. Tell your friends. Find a clearing buddy for yourself.
Yes.
So, Jason, tell everyone how to do the clearing.
So your posture doesn't matter. You don't have to be reverent when you're doing this.
Okay.
It's not a religious exercise. It's a more mechanical exercise, and you say the words to yourself. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate. And when it says to eliminate in your imagination, your mind's eye, gather that up in your body, and blow it into the processor. And there's a picture of the processor on the screen.
Yes.
We'll show that again. If you want something that you print out, that processor, go to our website and sign up for a free section, the Ecosystem Approach.
It's pretty darn cool, actually,
cool.
because it works. Remember, it not only helps you to take that negative energy and put it in the processor, but it also helps the earth around you and the earth in general, because there's too much negative energy around all of us.
Yes.
So with all of that said, stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to do some clearing so you can see and perceive dark energy and start to overcome your own enslavement. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to do some clearings, meaning remove negative energy so you can see and perceive dark energy and start to overcome your own enslavement. By the way, this is a gift, everyone. This can change your life. I'll say it that way. Jason, take it away.
Here we go. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate the barriers so I can start to see dark energy in my life and know that I can remove it using the ecosystem approach.
Nice and easy. Take a breath and throw that negative energy, blow that negative energy into the processor. By the way, I put the processor to my left because as I see it, negative energy removes easier when you put it to the left. Take a breath and blow it out. Continuing on.
Yes.
And to eliminate the barrier so I can see that dark energy is within everyone and is always on both sides of an issue. Nice and easy. Take a breath and blow out that negative energy.
And to eliminate the intense feelings of worry, anxiety, and stress that I have that is just dark energy and can be removed.
Nice. Nice and easy. Take a breath and blow it out. I'm going to add one. And to eliminate the intense feelings of fear that basically says, I'm not allowed to remove negative energy, when the truth is, yes, I am. Take a breath and blow it out. Jason?
And to eliminate the barrier so I can see that dark energy seeks to enslave me and others for the benefit of a few.
And I'm going to stand up with my hands on my hips and say, not acceptable. Nice and easy. Take a breath and blow out that negative energy. And to eliminate the barriers so I can see that dark energy is motivated to win and overcome. This is huge. Free will, your free will to make decisions in your best interest. Nice and easy. Take a breath. Blow it out. Jason?
And to eliminate any feelings of fear and terror that I have that my essence has influences from other planets, other places in the universe.
Right.
There's no need to be afraid of that.
Not at all. Take a breath and blow it out. And to eliminate the barriers so I can see that our leaders and heroes all have dark energy present, so they can't be completely trusted. I don't like saying that, but I know that it's true. Take a breath and blow it out.
And to eliminate any feelings of fear, hurt, and shame that I have that enslaves me, but can be removed over time.
That's a good one. Take a breath and blow it out. And to eliminate veils and illusions so I can see that dark energy is motivated to stay within me and doesn't want to leave. One more time. Not acceptable. Take a breath and blow it out.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that removing dark energy can make me hopeless and overwhelmed. Take a breath. And all I have to do is clear that hopelessness and overwhelm.
And everything will be a whole lot better. Take a breath. And to eliminate the barrier so I can see that dark energy will blame the ecosystem approach and make me feel that it isn't working, and so I need to keep removing the same emotions over and over again. But the truth is, the dark is losing and doesn't want to leave being attached to you. Nice and easy. Take a breath.
That was a long one, but it's really important.
Really important one. So, are we ready to
Yes.
Activate Life Force?
Let's
Here we
do
go.
that.
What we're going to do is we're going to activate Life Force, the most powerful energy that any of us has access to. We're going to call upon it. We're going to have it come in through the top of our head and go all the way to the tips of our toes. We're going to have it stop right there. We don't want that negative energy or any negative energy to go into the earth. We're going to ask it to turn around, and we're going to blow negative energy back out. Here we go. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to activate life force so I can use life force energy for all that I need and want and even desire starting right now today, so I can see that the ecosystem approach is in my highest and best interest. Pull it in. Stop it at the tips of your toes. Ask it to turn around right now and blow out any negative energy left over. Jason?
And to activate life force so I can have hope to have more freedom and the ability to create a life that I love by removing the negative energy from my essence.
I love it. Pull it in. Life force. And blow out any negative energy. And to activate life force so I can trust that I have the power to create a life that is perfect for me by removing negative energy, by removing dark energy and even evil energy. Nice and easy. Take a breath. Oh, excuse me. And blow out that negative energy.
And to activate life force so I can decide to focus on removing negative energy from my essence for my personal evolution.
Take a nice breath. And blow out any negative energy left over. Last one, everyone. And to activate life force so I can be happy and healthy and have love and laughter and love myself, learn to love myself, be creative and talented and have joy and fun taking care of me instead of everything being a burden and hopeless. Starting right now, pull it in and blow out all that negative energy. Jason, what are we going to talk about next week?
Well, and if you've got butterflies right now, if the hair on the back of your neck is standing up and saying, "Oh my gosh, this
Right.
is what I've been looking for. This is
Yes.
what I need."
Okay.
Go to our website right now, theecosystemapproach.org. Next week, we're going to talk about emotional stories.
Ooh.
Now,
Okay.
when there's negative energy in your essence,
Yeah.
your emotional story, understanding your emotional story, which is not what happened to you as a child, but how you felt about it.
Okay.
What's happened to you in your life, not what happened, but how you feel about it.
Yes.
That's where the negative energy is. That's where you go.
Okay.
And we're going to give some examples, that's, in a way that's central to using the ecosystem approach.
Okay.
And understanding your personal emotional story.
Okay. So, Jason, how can the audience out there make the ecosystem approach bigger for their life?
So if you're saying, okay, I got to have this. This
Okay.
is for me. Go to our website right now, theecosystemapproach.org.
Okay.
Sign up for our free section. You can go to our Facebook page. Listen to our show every week. We're giving you information about how to apply this energy work in your daily life in
Yeah.
practical ways.
Right.
We also kind of have the backstory in that newsletter.
Okay.
And all the clearings are written out there. A picture of the processors there. You'll get all of that just by signing up, giving us your email address.
I've never had so much fun in my life as when I'm actually working on removing negative energy. I just see this as being fun and something that so many people out there, they not only can have fun, but this is what not only you need, but the entire world needs.
Well, and the whole basis for doing the ecosystem approach is so that you can become the guru.
Yes.
Don't trust us or anybody else. You need to, our job, our mission here is to teach people
Yes.
how to go inward so they
Yes.
can know it for themselves, so they can know truth for themselves,
And it's pretty phenomenal.
so they can see light and dark for themselves.
Yes.
Not have me tell you, well, that's light and that's dark and you should avoid that, but go to that,
Right.
because
Well, and-
because we can't do that. It's all based on who you are uniquely.
Well, and the other thing is one of the things, and we don't talk about this very often, but I'm still learning how to trust myself.
Yes.
And that is a really big issue. That's part of my story. So,
And trusting yourself comes from your essence.
That's correct.
Which comes from removing negative energy, which comes from removing your emotional story. So be sure you tune in next week.
absolutely, it's going to be a great show. We'll connect next week, Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Transformation Talk Radio, and you're listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia.
Remember, your ecosystem is the most important one in the world.
Thank you for listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. Tune in every week as we discuss practical ways to apply the ecosystem approach and develop your potential to live your life on your terms. For more information, visit our website at theecosystemapproach.org.